Hi folks, welcome to this premium podcast for the Lotus Eaters, where we're going to be exploring the question, what was Alex Jones right about? Now, if you don't know who Alex Jones is, he is quite a famous American radio host and conspiracy theorist, but that term seems to have kind of lost its edge these days, because it turns out that a lot of the conspiracies that Alex Jones promoted seems to have come kind of true. And this has become a bit of a meme going around the internet. So what we thought we'd do is sit down and actually look at what he's claimed, what the rebuttal from the mainstream media was, and how this was ridiculous, and then how it turned out to actually be true. Now, of course, there are going to be a bunch of these things that he said that are not true. For example, claiming that the Sandy Hook massacre was a conspiracy. He's been sued multiple times over that. There doesn't seem to be any evidence that I've seen that shows that that's correct, and therefore I think we can safely put that one to bed that he was wrong about. But I don't think he's been wrong about everything. So where are we beginning?
Well, it'd be wrong to say that he's wrong about everything, because that just doesn't seem to be the case.
No.
So the first thing we're going to begin with is there's this article here from CNBC, Alex Jones' 5 most disturbing and ridiculous conspiracy theories. Journalism there. So the first one they list is weather weapons. So the government has weather weapons.
Oh, wow,
so,
that sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, Jones doesn't just believe that secretive forces are at work to control people's minds. He has also warned for years about government efforts to control the weather, to wreak havoc on unsuspecting citizens. In 2013, Jones warned that, of course, there's weather weapons stuff going on, according to a transcript produced by Media Matters, a left-leaning watchdog organization.
Left-leaning is a very generous way of describing Media Matters.
Leftist hucksters.
Yeah.
We had floods in Texas like 15 years ago, killed 30-something people in one night. Turned out it was the Air Force. That's a quote attributed to Alex Jones. Of course, I'm taking everything with a bit of grain of salt there if it comes from Media Matters. But the claim, as they're saying, is Alex Jones claims that there are weather weapons, and that's ridiculous and nonsensical. But that doesn't make any sense, because everyone's claiming they've got them. like
It's a conspiracy right up until the point that everyone admits, yeah, we have weather weapons.
Like every government on Earth is claiming they've got access to these things. So the first one here is just the Operation Popeye, which is the origin of weather weaponry in serious regard, which is of course during the Vietnam War, in which they deployed
Cloud seeding.
Yeah, so you seed the clouds to try and make the rain come down. So my understanding is you release these particulates, and the particulates are hydrophilic, so they attract more water molecules to them, and then this makes the water molecules denser and denser, and then from what shouldn't rain yet becomes a dense cloud, and then it rains. Perfect. I mean, if you want the rain to come sooner, or you need more rain because you want to flood the enemy or something like that, it's a perfectly legitimate strategy, and it seems to work. I mean, they tried it out in Vietnam, and it seemed to have some effect. And since then, a lot of other governments have invested a lot of money and claim that they have these things and they are in operation. So there's also the next link here is just Environmental Modification Convention. So these are governments agreeing that they shouldn't use weather weaponry on each other during war. And you can see some countries have signed, some haven't.
Well, it's nice to see that China signed up to that.
Why would they sign if they didn't have them? Why would anyone waste their time on this?
Yeah, it does mean it's like we agree that we won't engage in psychic warfare or something. It's like, yes, it's because none of us are psychers. But in this case, you know.
Yeah, so the next link here is just the UAE. So this is a video from their government. So the UAE being a desert country.
Arab Emirates, who might have, a desert country, who might have an interest in weather.
So they might have an interest in increasing the rain during certain seasons, and they do. And they fund aircraft to go up, and as you can see with these tubes at the back of the plane, to release the particulates that then cause the cloud seeding, which then causes the weather to have more rain. I mean, this is not controversial in the slightest. Like
it's not secret. I mean, it's on YouTube. UAE cloud seeding, how it works.
I mean, this technology is like 60 years old, and then you've got essentially civilian arms of states operating this thing and showing you how it works and being like, yeah, we'll conquer the weather. Yeah. So Alex Jones' claim that weather weapons exist is pretty normal. And the next one here is just the Chinese say that they're going to try and expand their weather modification efforts, which always goes well.
So I suppose the comeback to this would be, well, they're not weapons, but they could be weaponized, couldn't they?
But their first use was as a weapon in the Vietnam War. So,
I mean,
Let me go through this while you think of a counter argument. So,
yeah. Okay, I'm trying.
So the Chinese, I mean, as we've read in what was it, the Great Leap Forward or whatever, the Great Famine. Yeah. There's a huge section in there in which Mao mobilized the population to conquer the nature by cutting down all the trees and digging up all the land and
killing all the starlings,
destroying everything.
Yeah.
And the Chinese are continuing that tradition, so they want to enhance their weather modification efforts. So it isn't just like the UAE when they want to bring down a little more rain. Like they want to do this massively over the northern sections where it's desert. And they're probably going to screw it up because they screwed up last time. They'll screw up this time. Yeah. But why are the Chinese expanding it? What are they expanding there? Why is the UAE proud of it? And why did the Americans say, yeah, we used it in war against the Vietnamese if it is a conspiracy theory that doesn't exist? I mean, you can claim, as they should have, that Alex Jones's quote there where he says they used it in the Texas floods against the American citizens. You could claim that's the theory, but they didn't. In the article, they claimed that the government has weather weapons is the theory, which
is true.
Which is true. Alex Jones is right.
Yeah, I mean...
Did you come up with a counter argument for why this couldn't be true?
No, I mean, I don't see... I mean, to be honest with you, this seems like quite a tepid level that it's taken to as well, because as I understand it, there are actually more intensive things that we could do. Like, you can create earthquake machines and things like that, can't you?
There are a lot of different experiments on how to do it.
By setting up, like, oscillations on certain pattern to increase frequency and things like this. I remember reading about this years ago.
Yeah.
And so, like, just cloud seeding for flooding, obviously that's, very sort of simple sounding.
Yeah, it's also eminently desirable. Like if you want the rain to come sooner because of a drought or something.
Yeah, or if you want to flood an enemy position, there we go.
Fantastic.
Or if you want to cause a drought in someone's country to make them submit and surrender.
Yeah,
I mean, totally practical.
Totally practical, totally useful. Exists for decades. So
there's one win for Alex Jones.
So this is going to get more edgy, of course. This is the least edgy. So this is the next one here. And this is for the account that sort of spurred this. The account Alex Jones was right. As you can see here, someone claiming Alex Jones, Joe Rogan war leads to conspiracy theory meltdown. InfoWars host said babies are harvested for organs. Pretty crazy thing to say.
It's pretty insane. I mean, what kind of monster would harvest baby organs, and for what possible nefarious purpose?
The U.S. government, money. Yeah, this is the release.
Federal government keeping babies alive and selling their body parts. Oh God.
Boy, I love the government. So if we go to the next link, which is the Federalist article itself, you can go read it yourself. Fresh aborted fetuses here. So they say in here, legal accountability group Judicial Watch dropped a bombshell. A nearly 600-page report proving the US government has been buying and trafficking fresh aborted baby body parts. These body parts purchased by the US Food and Drug Administration to humanize mice and test biological drugs in scientific experiments came from babies up to 24 weeks gestation, just weeks from being born.
That's horrific.
So, I mean, there's a question here, babies. I mean, people who would say that it's not a baby at a certain point would say, oh, that's a fetus, not a baby. But come on.
Okay, yeah, we're really quibbling over a relatively insignificant line here. Because the point is, this is a human, a fetus/baby that is being trafficked for body parts by the US government.
Because it's useful for research. They continue. Recent emails uncovered by Judicial Watch between FDA employees and the California-based Advanced Bioscience Resources prove the agency spent tens of thousands of dollars buying aborted babies for unethical scientific experiments between 2012 and 2018. In 2018, the Donald Trump administration terminated the contract, halting government fetal tissue research due to concerns that the contracts were unlawful.
The glorious golden god emperor is just shining more brightly from his position in history.
So under the Obama administration, they decided, hey, how about we harvest some baby organs, the aborted fetuses here, for research. And that's, unethical for one. But the unlawful part here, Donald Trump's administration stepping in when they found out and being like, hey, no, don't harvest baby organs. So when Alex Jones says that they're doing that, they did. They've been caught red-handed, as the Federalist points out.
God, that's awful. That's so awful. I mean, did none of the scientists involved in this have any moral compunction about this? They're just like, we'll just take these fetuses and just harvest parts off them, and I sleep soundly at night, presumably on my satanic bed. What? That's I mean, if like I'm an atheist, but if I was a Christian, I'd be looking at this going, okay, that is Satan's work. And that's coming from an atheist. This sounds like Satan's work, says the atheist.
Yeah. I mean, they're just looking at the flesh being like, it's just flesh and we're using it for science.
Yeah, it's like, no, that's... Oh, God. That's awful. That is awful.
Yeah, there's some other stuff in there that's pretty bad. I mean, as you can see there, they pay $12,000 for a baby up front, which...
What?
I mean, just the conversations around that. So you can see that ABR was paid $12,000 up front per baby. Per baby. Some survivable out of the womb between gestation period of 16 to 24 weeks. Most purchases were for intact thymuses and livers shipped, quote, freshly on wet ice.
Okay, Alex Jones right. Let's move on. That's
Alex
gross.
Jones right.
I hate it.
Like this conspiracy theory fest he engaged with Joe Rogan of saying that the US government was engaged in something awful, and they were.
It's so ridiculous. Yeah. Alex Jones, the US government is buying and selling babies and harvesting their organs, and turns out that's true.
To watch the full video, please become a premium member at lotuseaters.com.